So how do you tie the Annunciation or the presentation of the temple into this? Because that's obviously a crucial temple. I assume you talk about that in your book.
Oh yes, because it's the Lord coming to his temple, isn't it? It's the Lord and his mother coming to the temple. It's very interesting. If you look in Isaiah, where the servant is restored, and all this, you've always got the female figure, the city or the abandoned queen. She's always there. It's always the woman figure and the servant together. And here you've got the Lord and this female figure coming again to the temple. The detail in Luke's Gospel is just amazing. Things that you've known for years, and suddenly you think, that's what that means. I'll give you an example. You know the presentation in the temple. Luke's got the two stories and he kind of conflates them. He's telling them in very few words. It's very sort of sparsely told story. And he tells the story of the two doves, as I said, two doves, and that's the purification for the mother. But he doesn't say anything about redemption sacrifice for the child. Now, the firstborn child, according to the Pentateuch law, you redeem with a payment of 5 shekels of silver. And there is no account that this firstborn was redeemed. In other words, he was an unredeemed sacrifice. Jesus is the sacrifice that didn't redeem him.
That's interesting.
Interesting, and again, it's difficult to argue from silence. You can't. You say, well, there is no evidence that this redemption money was paid. Arguing from silence is dangerous. On the other hand, this is a very interesting silence. They present him to the Lord. They don't redeem him. What's that all about?
That's interesting.
Extremely interesting. Now, I mean, that's a story that we've all known since we were children. And meeting Simeon meeting Anna, all the rest of it. Jesus is not redeemed. And there's things like that, reading through, Matthew as well. All sorts of things. There's such familiar stories, and when you stop and read them, you think, oh my goodness. I've been looking at that for 50 years, and it just never dawned on me what I was reading. It is amazing.
Well, I'm looking forward to reading that. That's going to be fascinating. Sounds great.
To me, discovery is a very exhausting procedure, and it's very exciting. And you don't realise how much of your energy you're burning up. And when you've finished, you suddenly go, and you're just so deep down tired. It's amazing. You can't think straight for, at least I can't think straight for quite a while.
I have had exactly the same experience. You just kind of crash and lie there.
Lie there for reading novels.
Yeah.
But thank goodness for novels. but that was a great thing to write. I'd be interested to see how the public reacts to it, because the Christmas story is something that's got a lot of kind of emotional capital tied up in it. I think if I were to write a radical book about Obadiah, no one would worry over much. But when you're doing the Christmas story, people think, hands off, that's ours, don't touch it. Yeah. But I hope I've set it in its real historical and cultural setting, so that people can glimpse maybe what the authors were really writing, what's behind the words, what's between the lines. We shall see.
Well, that's great. What's the exact title?
Christmas, the Original Story.
Christmas, the Original Story.
It's got a bright red cover, so it looks just like a Christmas present.
Great.